I just officially want to welcome each and every one of you this evening to our AGM. It's annual general meeting. It means as an arts charity that we have to share what we do. We share a report of the year and we share our accounts so you can see where all the public money has been spent. And most of all, it's to really celebrate who is in Skimstone Arts, which looking across here is all of you, and to share what we've done together. It's been an incredible year. So we're going from April 2021 to March 2022. This is a little bit from We Cannot Walk Alone that Kemra and I were hosting for Refugee Week in 2021.
Walk with me through every fire in the land. Walk through the good and walk through the bad. Take my hand and I'll show you the way. There are so many things we can do today.
Loretta is here. Give it a wave. There's Loretta. And Kenna is here as well. They're sung together with Peter as well. I think it really sums up this idea that tonight we're going to walk together. Wherever we are in the world, we've come together to walk together. And we're going to just welcome you all. And we haven't got any apologies from our trustees, which says a lot about our trustees because they're absolutely amazing. And the first thing I'm going to do is really give you another sense of why this year has been so special. And it's a lot to do with the fact that we have met new people and worked very deeply with new people. And two of them are with us tonight. So we've got Akko's on the floor down here and Shaho is behind a video camera here. I just wonder if you could just say a little bit about who you are and what your journey has been like together, you know, as very respected folk journalists. What's been the sort of journey with Skimstone Arts during that year?
Thank you very much. I'm really glad to this evening join with you. And my name is Akko. I'm a photographer and I do some journalism as well. Actually, really good experience for me. I bring it some of my project with Skimstone and with sharing in here, which really excited.
And they've become really quite famous because, I mean, you've had your exhibition at Newcastle Library and...
Yeah, we have the exhibition Newcastle twice.
Yeah.
The Sunderland and Durham. And we have the short film as well.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a bit about the film? Because you were the one who really sort of, with the videographer and brought together. So tell us a bit about the film Smell of Apples.
Smell of Apples? I forget. Thank you for coming. I am glad to work with the Skimstone Arts. Smell of Apple, the story talk about attack in Iraq. In the 1988, Saddam Hussein attacked the Kurdish people in the North Iraq. That meant Saddam Hussein and the regime used the chemical with the smell of apple. After that, died the people. In the 5 minutes, died 5,000 people. The story talk about, the film talk about this story.
The learning that Skimstone Arts has had from working with Shaho and Akko about world political issues and also how the stories are critical that have been woven into the work that we've actually created together. So an exhibition and also a film and radio broadcast. So it's with a real pleasure that we have welcomed you as associate artists. So thank you so much, Shaho and Akko. So Skimstone Arts' mission is to support diverse artists and communities and those at risk of any social isolation to create work with. That not means for, it means with us together, for and about the world that really matters to us. So I'm very delighted now to welcome our chair, Wendy, who's going to give us her summary of the year.
This combined way of connectivity is something that the pandemic has given to us. And our dynamic response to the lockdown and isolation was to find extra ways to connect with people, to co-create with people, and we're keeping that going.
Our annual report captures highlights and staples of what we do and why we do it. The impact it has on artists, co-creators and society has remained strong in the last year.
We've established a core artistic programme which every year brings a new artistic talent in, life stories about the needs of people, about inequality and struggle. And the programme also builds a confidence through art production, and it develops new skills and opportunities through the way that we train and mentor with people.
Ours is an inclusive and co-created approach to give people a voice to share their own experience and to build connections. Connections with more creatives, more communities, more people, and to travel on journeys of discovery together. Through our AGM agenda, you will see the glimpses of sheer magic that happen during these creative journeys. The feedback we've received confirms we are creating positive and dynamic change through the commitment to the arts that we have. Our environment and how we protect our planet and each other is a key focus of our annual Skimstone Unity Festival. For those that joined us over that weekend last March, we came together to celebrate community, nature and social action. It was moving, thought-provoking and provided us with an enormous boost to our well-being. Please add it to your calendars for 2023.
It's not only about the creative process though, it's about the recognition that it brings into society and mainstream discourses about the needs for and ideas about how to develop societies around the world that act for the common good. Skimstone Arts always finds the joy in the artistic process. I don't know if you've noticed. But it's both a gift and a cultural way of working.
A highlight for us is the hugely exciting production of Reality Boom Breaking Barriers. We do hope that you will stay and join us to launch the album and hear Reality Boots play later this evening and perhaps buy their new CD.
Have a listen carefully to the lyrics and think about what they mean to the band, to the authors, to you, tonight and in the year ahead. From Memories Lost, a victim of your fears, clinging to the fleeting hope. It only takes one day for everything to change. An act of compassion, one day's a snapshot. Can you make that change?
We're going to give all of you tonight a little sneak preview of the album launch that's going to come up in about 40 minutes. So if I could invite the band on stage, we're going to play for you this evening.
So we're going to be playing Stronger Together, which is a song I wrote with Tom Spence, because he's a brilliant composer. So it's about being working together, and it was written when we were coming just out of the lockdown before we kind of walk alone.
Keyboard player who unfortunately isn't with us at the moment, just going through a medical change and things. So, but we really do acknowledge that Thomas Hewitt also plays on the album and plays a lot better than I do. So thank you very much, Melty, but you will hear more from them later because I can see you all and you just look amazing. Oh, fantastic! So you're all from Middlesbrough? Yes. So we've got you guys introducing yourselves a bit later, I think, haven't you? We've got more band here, haven't we, from Standing Upright in our North Shields. We've got Becky, Biker Penny, not Becky, Micah Penny, sorry. I've Miss Christine around, who's our creative producer. I've got Nicholas that we met in Durham, Carol, who will introduce herself later. And then I've got Kemmer, I've got more band, I've got associate artist, I've got Andrew, who came to all of Unity Festival, which was brilliant. Biker, I have no idea who you are, no, I've known you a long time. Sorry, one of our associate artists. Leanne will introduce you later. We've got Nat and Barbara introduce themselves later. We've got Quaker Legacy recognised and represented here, I think is the words I'm looking for. Again, total strangers. Oh, lovely. Fathers and uncles, we always like them because they're so supportive. And then we have got more, which we'll introduce later, our lovely trustees. And we've got a member of the NUJ, which is fabulous, all the way from Hartlepool. Hartlepool, which is fantastic. We've got Elisa, who used to be with us, and it's wonderful to you. We've got the wonderful guys from Jack Drum Arts who've travelled from Durham. We have another wonderful person from Biker who's helped us with our commissioning. And then we've got, you've met Sarah and Wendy. And then we've got this whole fantastic group here, giveaway from Stockton. This is our the Summer Soul Company, you'll be hearing more about them. Another person, I have no idea.
Bus driver.
Oh, you're a bus driver! Well, I think we'll give a cheer for the bus driver, actually. Fantastic. James, we've got from Jack Drum Arts, so you already did it. What do you vote for? Okay. And then we've got this wonderful, Liam, you've been amazing. Give a clap for Liam already. We've got Peter, who did a placement with us, and he's mum Anita. And then we've got, you met Peter, I think we're there, yeah? And then we're on here, on Zoom, I know that we've got Nee Quarty, who's with us, who helps to do all our tech. And we've also got Joe, and I've got a very quick story about Joe Hodgson. Joe Hodgson was an assistant project manager with us, and he went and actually worked in the Bosty, which is a youth group for sort of children of all ages. And he found his calling. He found that actually he so loved working with children, he went off to start his teaching degree, and he sent me a message yesterday saying he'd done the first day, am I right, Joe? The first day in the school, and how much he'd loved it. And so that's a really wonderful legacy to just know. So welcome, Joe. And I'm going to share the minutes of that meeting with you. Recognise what was in those minutes. And Lisa, you mentioned Young Artists Collective Reflection. And then we asked people to say a little bit about what they thought Skimstone meant to them. Is that an accurate record of last year's minutes?
Yes!
Oh no, we have to do it the Skimstone way. Is that an accurate, what was the word I used? Record of the minutes from last year?
Yes!
And now, I'm absolutely thrilled to show you this. So on your chairs, can you hold up your brochures? So what an honour it is to feel that we can share this annual report, okay? I've got it here. Months and months and months of work brought this together, but I really do feel that it reflects beautifully with a lot of the imagery that Akko and Shaho have taken, but with all the different stories of that year in it. So I'm not going to go through all 60 whatever pages. What I am going to do is just say this, there's Joe, look, that's Joe. This was an amazing year. This year, we really did feel like we were able to grow. We grew in ambition, and we also grew in staff team and the artists that we work with. And it references our activities, who we actually really loved creating with. Look at those stats. Wow. That is amazing. And that's because everybody helped to make that happen. But I think what's so crucial about it, it's a good word, I've become quite fond of it actually, it's about when things get a bit sticky or a bit, where do you push forward and do something new? Or where do you take a bit of a risk and think, where else can we go? And we really have to acknowledge the team here, particularly Nee Quarty, who helped us to really look at this connectivity, and obviously Peter as well with that, and the team. We've had people who've helped us to talk about and make work that's also another passion of ours, which is the environment and nature, our planet. we look at humanity and planet through everything that we do and really try and consider how we can just be better at looking after it and each other. Philip, I've just seen you. There you are. So Philip's hair is slightly different colour today, but this is about Philip leading on a knowledge and exchange about his Gold Arts Award. And then there's some examples of different projects that you can see here. And finally, I'll come on to these again a bit later, our trustees, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the actual account, so how the money was spent. So I think a big cheer again for everybody in there. Hooray! Now, this is the bit where we have to be very brave, very strong when we say our goodbyes. Except one isn't a goodbye, one is a moving on, and the other is a real acknowledgement of work that has been contributed so much to Skimstone over the last few years. Both have committed so much work in different ways. Carol is one of our trustees who's been with us for, I was trying to work it out actually.
5 years.
It is 5 years. 5 years. We have seen Carol in all the colours of the rainbow. That's the first thing I'm going to say. And tonight is no different. But it's not just the colour of Carol visibly, it's the colours of Carol within. Carol, you have, the main thing for us obviously is something massive like the theory of change. The theory of change, you could probably describe it better than me, is?
It's a way of managing and describing the things that we achieve as an organisation and making sure that we stay on track.
And Carol does that with giving a lot of time to sit with me, to sit with the team, to think, how can we get better? How can we as artists get better? How is we working with communities get better? How can we with our board and our governance get better? Sorry, there's another one that's really, audiences, you, oh, I'm going to forget you. Yeah, so how can we get better at actually just creating the work, making the work, and also for it to mean something? Carol, do you have any, we've got loads of highlights, do you have any particular highlights yourself?
Pretty much every time I step in a space with artists that work with Skimstone, I mean, every year there has been something new and new people and exciting new projects. So for me, it's the joy of seeing new faces here and getting to meet new people. It has been amazing, and tell you never know what's going to happen next.
Here are a few images of Carol, busy at work. You can see this is what I mean. She listens, she's a listener. I chopped your head off there, into actually to Philip there. And she also takes part. There's so many images of Carol that we were looking at where it's turning up and actually actively being part of something. Thank you, Carol. You're a massive miss. Massive. Our next artist has been with us for a decade, and in that decade, yes, there he is, in that decade we have seen an amazing growth as not just an artist, somebody who has worked in event management, administration, key member of the leadership team, and really, my friend, this is very much about you moving on as an artist, isn't it?
Well, it's been an interesting one. I joined you guys in 2011, literally 11 years, and you know, I didn't know what to expect. So, you know, getting to know yous, and me and you going head to head when I was younger, like two bulls going at each other. But you know, as I grew older, and you imparted some of your wisdom, and Pete imparted some of his wisdom upon me, I've come to understand that art is kind of just like this evolutionary thing. It can't be stagnant, it can't be just one vision in your head, and you've got to be open to people's input, people's contributions and stuff like that, and it opened my mind to a myriad of different art forms, and it wouldn't have happened without Claire, without Pete, without the support of the associate artists, my fellow young artist members when I was a young artist, part of the Young Artists Collective, and my fellow echo artists when I was a part of the echo artists. That whole group of people that makes up Skimstone Art helped me become from a very angry young man who was angry at society for abandoning him. I was homeless at the time I joined, to the man you see in front of you, someone who's stronger, someone who's calmer, for lack of a better word, someone who's more appreciative, someone who's, you know, who shows more gratitude than anger, especially from what I've been through when I was homeless. I show more gratitude today than I did back then, and I owe that all to you, Pete. Honestly, you've not helped me become a better artist, but you've helped me become a better man, a better human, and I hope to one day pass that on to other people.
Both ways, I have to say. We've learned so much from you. We've learned from your resilience. We've learned from the fact, we had, I'm just going to clarify about butting heads, by the way. We had different ideas about things. Artistically, we had a bit of a...
Not physically butting heads.
No, we didn't, did we? I'm sure you wanted to sometime. But I think it was that real learning of, sometimes, you are the wordsmith. Whenever we wanted a project, a title for a project, it's like, is Mappo here? Can we get Mappo in for this meeting? Even if it wasn't a project you were involved with. You have the most amazing way with words. And also, and when do you recognise this? If you look at the images where Mappo is actually performing as well, this was a big step up. This was a tour that we did, and we took it out across the region, and you had to work so hard. And also you recognise Kemma there as well, and some of our other artists. And I really respected the journey that you went on also. I'm delighted that you have your track on the Reality Boots album on Spectre. So this is more about the really freeing you now, isn't it, to fly with your own artistic practice. A little bit of you that's upon there as well. I'm too busy looking ahead of her. Now, Lydia, haven't you just flown back in from East Africa? When did you arrive?
I just arrived this afternoon. Not only to say thank you to all our supporters and all our colleagues here, but also an appreciation of the fantastic work that we are doing. And I've been very keen to meet some of the colleagues that have been behind the work as well. For me, I think I'm always inspired by the work that the Skimstone Art does. The international element is a constant reminder for me. I'm very lucky sometimes that I have to travel the world as part of my work, and I'm hoping to connect with some of the colleagues that you are talking about in Ghana. Unit Vespa is always a very key highlight. I have two young children. It was a family affair for us, and it's always a very constant in our calendar. Thank you so much for your support.
Talking about
what I have loved is how Skimstone has kept me connected with the whole world, with the work that you've been doing. When we were all locked down and it was all miserable around Christmas, you were keeping us connected with things that were happening all over the world and that I could access from home, which was brilliant against all the odds.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go to the opposite end of the scale of Rebecca. In that, I think my favourite memory was coming to see Doorbells. I think it was Chopwell Community Community Centre, sorry. And it was just, I remember in particular how moved someone in the audience was, because she felt like someone had finally told her story and that there was someone like her in the world and she wasn't the only one going through these problems. So I think that just shows how deeply you can touch the communities that we take our art to and work with.
To give us a summary of the financial accounts.
Yep, so that just shows our income and our expenditure, and it's been, we've had a surplus this year, which means that we've made slightly more than we spent, but this is all part of our strategy to build up our reserves. So we've got about an extra £3,000 in reserves this year, which helps us to be a much more sustainable and resilient charity, so we can go forward and support more and more people and grow in the future. So what I always like to show off is that In note 14 there, you can see all the different activities that we do, and what I think is really important is that we spend the vast majority of our money directly on our charitable activities rather than on our support costs. So it shows that all the money that our wonderful donors and funders and all the people we work with, that you give to us, we work directly with people to make a difference in the world.
With the team are doing it all correctly, and we appreciate all the time that Katie puts in for that and the preparation for this report. So thank you once again. So now we elect new members. So this is just to make sure that, again, publicly we're saying who is going to be our chair for this year going forward, and our vice chair, and our treasurer, and our secretary. Before we move on to the final bit now, I just want to say that we are very grateful, as I say, for Trustees. And if you are interested in really supporting our charity, our arts charity, to become a trustee, and it's open to anybody to do that, we have a trustee pack that is on our website. If you'd like any more details about it, please do chat to Claire, who is there. Claire, if you could give a little wave, and to find out how you can access the trustee pack, or Christina, who is somewhere. There's Christina. Big one, isn't it, Peter? Tell us about Company's House, Peter.
Hello, everybody. This is the really interesting part of the evening. It goes on forever and ever and ever. So I'd like to tell you that Company's House is all up to date. Thank you.
We want to say a big thank you to the funders and the partners that support us in our work.
Through our partnership with Skimstone Arts, what we've done is use the power of performance to, in a way, highlight issues and to create opportunities for people to have conversations about things that matter to them in a way that would never happen if we just stood up there and said, well, what do you think about housing? Or here's some data on housing. So actually it's created a completely different way of us being able to have conversations with people. So it's been an incredibly powerful experience for us. And during the course of the evening, I've been writing on my hand some of the things that people have said that have resonated with me. So risk-taking is one. Going head-to-head, believe me, we've had our going head-to-head. Being open-minded. And I think for me also holding your nerve, because when you work in a creative way, you have to hold your nerve, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I have to say that working with Skimstone, it has worked, and it's been an absolute joy to have had the opportunity to do live performances in the last year, which made such a difference.
We're at Northern University, and we go out and speak to people about the issues that are troubling them, to try and make services for them better. But often when we do that, it's really difficult when you sit people around a table and ask them to start talking about things that can be really sensitive and difficult issues. So having a performance that gives people something they can relate to in a really human way, I think just makes those conversations so much easier for people. Typical PowerPoint presentation that everyone gets sick of seeing, really. So I think that's the power of what you do at Skimstone, and that's why I'm so grateful to work with you.
Extraordinary research partners as well. We've learned a lot about your research methodology, about when you're working where the performance goes beyond just being a performance. You're actually genuinely listening because you're really interested in what the audience are feeling and thinking, and to capture that. And there is the open page
on a radio broadcast which was co-created with Gypsy, Roma and Traveller communities for Gypsy, Roma Traveller History Month. And I think one of the things that was really, really wonderful about that is it's really, it can be very difficult if you work with groups who have been very badly misrepresented sometimes. And one of the things that I wanted to say and then forgot just now was that when I work with Skimstone, I think one of the things that's really nice is I know that people's stories and their voices are going to be safe and respected.
And everybody has stories, and the importance of actually looking at the most respectful but the most innovative and creative way we can tell those stories is what matters to us. We've looked at the year that's just gone. What I'm so thrilled about is the year that's coming, because we have our new friends here from Stockton who we've already done a performance in this year, haven't we, with the Sun and the Soul Company, this new company, and we're always finding new members, and thanks to, again, another great partner, Catherine's here today from Refugee Asylum, Action Asylum. We have some great partners that we are now discovering exactly all the great work that's going on in Stockton, so they've invited us to be part of it. So during the last 2 weeks, this is just for a few hours, we've created a little film that
part of life, and the colors, what they mean is that the nuances that we can get between our feelings in our own spark. For me, white represents nothingness. At the beginning we come with nothingness, and we're advancing through the colors until we get to the warmth that we can find in the spark with the reds, the oranges, the yellows.
To just acknowledge though the amazing journey personally that I am on, and also Peter has done some work as well with the Sun and the Soul Company. For you, we're on a journey. What's it been like for you?
Yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Yunus, and it was amazing opportunity working with, I'm not working, sorry, creating the Skimstone tag, and it's nice that you see different nations. We saw that video that the people colored that kind of like a star, and this is shows that can be different people with different nations can be together. It's not about, I don't know, different. It's not about being differences for the people. It's being humanity. Yeah.
You put it beautifully. You know, I have to say this. If you asked me to do anything in any other language, I would really struggle. And the enormous respect I have for all of you, where sometimes English is a second, third, fourth language. You know, I'm in real awe of that. And for you to come out and talk so well in that way, because that's what we're finding, isn't it? We all speak different languages, so we find ways to actually speak through, whether it's through paint, through performance, through music, and that's how we find out about each other, isn't it? So thank you very much, Eunice, and I'm so thrilled you've all come tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'd like you to actually write a little message of what you're going to do differently, maybe from tonight. Tonight would not have been possible without the wonderful support of this team. Claire and Christina, I still can't believe it's sometimes only a few hours a week, but what they get done on the website and production and so on is brilliant. Nicole and the band, we're going to hear from you later, but Nicole, you have worked your socks off to make this whole band happen. You really have, and brought together a wonderful band, of which there are new members. So this is a bit for Nicole and the band that you're going to hear all about your needs. We have two associate artists, many others who've also really committed and been very innovative in different ways. I'm going to go for the regulars for now, but Simon and Keith, thank you for all the work you do to keep everything warm for this studio. Big thank you to Akko and Charles for recording tonight. A big thank you for those of us who joined on Zoom. A big thank you to Cluny too, to Liam. Liam, yeah, how you've coped with us. We've only had 2 hours. It's been amazing.